Pranam, good night. Today I'm going to read Volume 1, Book 2, Rudra Samhita, Part 2, Chapter 43, The Arrangement of Daksha's Sacrifice in the Shiva Puran. Om Vakrutudamākaya Suryakoti Samapra Niravikanam Kunavideva Sarvakaya Sushara Om Ekadantaya Vidmyam Vakratundaya Timanutanti Prashara Om Gam Ganapataya Om Gam Ganapatira Om Gam Ganapatira Yadevi Sa Om Guru Brahma Om Jai Sri Om Hari Om Tat Sat. Brahma said, thus eulogizing by Vishnu, by me, by the gods, sages and others, the great Lord became delighted. After consoling Brahma, Vishnu, the sages and the gods, by his benign glance, Shiva spoke to Daksha. Lord Shiva said, O Daksha, listen, I shall explain. O Patriarch, I am delighted. Although I am independent Lord of all, I am subservient to my devotees always. 4 kinds of meritorious persons worship me always. O Patriarch Daksha, the latter are greater than the former. They are the distressed, the inquisitive, the fortune seeker, and the wise. The first 3 are ordinary, and the 4th one is extraordinary person. The wise among these 4 is a great favorite of mine. He is of my own form. None is dearer to me than the wise. It is the truth. I tell you the truth. I am the knower of the self. I can be known through knowledge by those who have mastered Vedanta and the Vedas. Deluded men engrossed in rituals alone cannot attain me through the Vedas, sacrifices, gifts, or austerities. You wished to cross the ocean of worldly existence by observance of rituals alone. That was why I became angry and caused the destruction of the sacrifice. Hereafter, O Daksha, thinking upon me as the great Lord and giving more importance to knowledge, you carry on rituals with care and attention. O Patriarch, listen to another statement of mine with a clear conscience. Although it is based on the qualitative aspect, it is esoteric. For the sake of virtue, I shall tell you, Brahma, Vishnu, and I constitute the chief cause of the universe. But I am the soul, the witness, self-seer, and without attributes. O sage, entering into my own illusion, consisting of 3 attributes, I create, sustain, and annihilate the universe and acquire designations consistent with the activities. In that Supreme Soul, Universal God, which is the pure Self, the ignorant sees different living beings, Brahman, Isvara, etc. Even as an ordinary man does not consider his head, hands, and other limbs as separate from his own self, so also my follower does not feel separateness about the living beings. He attains peace, who does not see any difference among the 3 deities, who constitute the soul of all living beings, and who have the same innate property, O Daksha. The base man who differentiates the deities of the Trinity certainly stays in hell as long as the moon and the stars shine. My devotee may worship the gods, being so absorbed he will attain knowledge leading to eternal salvation. Without devotion to Brahma, one cannot have the devotion to Vishnu. Without devotion to Vishnu, none will have devotion towards me. After saying this, Shiva, the great Lord, the merciful God, spoke these words within the hearing of everyone. If a devotee of Vishnu hates me, or if a devotee of Shiva hates Vishnu, both will incur curses and never realize reality. Brahma said, on hearing these pleasing words of Lord Shiva, O sage, the Devas, sages, and others were greatly delighted. With great joy, Daksha, his family, and the gods realized Shiva as the Lord of all and was engrossed in devotion to Shiva. Lord Shiva, who was delighted in mind, granted boons to all as he received reverence to his great self. Permitted by Shiva, and with his blessings, O sage, Daksha, the devotee of Shiva, with a delighted heart, completed his sacrifice. He allotted the full share to Shiva and gave the gods their respective shares. He gave charitable gifts to the Brahmins and secured the good blessings of Shiva. Thus the patriarch, Daksha, in collaboration with the Ritviks, completed the great rite of the gods in accordance with the sacred injunction. O excellent sage, thus the sacrifice of Daksha was completed, thanks to the grace of Shiva, who is identical with the Supreme Brahman. Then the celestial sages sang the glory of Shiva and left for their abodes with delighted minds. Others too were pleased and left for their homes. Vishnu and I went to our regions joyfully, singing the ever auspicious glory of Shiva. Lovingly honored by Daksha, the great Lord Shiva, the goal of the good, returned to Kailasa along with his gunners. He was greatly delighted. After returning to his mountain, Shiva remembered his beloved Sati and mentioned her story to the most important of his gunners. Narrating his story, Lord Shiva passed many days. He then evinced the lover's humor according to the conventions of the world. O sage, the Lord is never unjust. The Supreme Brahman is the goal of the good. How can he be deluded? What sorrow has he? How can he have other aberrations? Even Vishnu and I do not know his real secret. What then about others, the sages, gods, human beings, and even yogins? The greatness of Shiva is endless and inscrutable, even to the learned sages. It is known to the devotees without difficulty, thanks to good devotion and his favor. There is no emotion and aberration at all in Shiva, the Supreme Being. He points out to the people of the world by his different actions, their respective goals. O sage, by reading or listening to this, intelligent persons in the world secure good goal hereafter and excellent happiness in this world. After forsaking her body, thus Sati, the daughter of Daksha, was born as the daughter of Meena, the wife of Himavat. This is well known. After performing penance again, she wooed Shiva as her husband. Attaining white complexion, she performed many wonderful divine sports and gained half the body of Shiva. Thus I have described the fascinating story of Sati to you, which confers worldly pleasures and salvation, which is divine and bestows all wishes. This narrative is flawless, pure, sanctifying, conferring heavenly pleasures, glory, longevity, and the pleasure of sons and grandsons. Whoever listens to this or recites this with devotion or dare will attain the greatest goal in every right. He who reads or teaches this auspicious narrative will attain salvation on death after enjoying all worldly pleasures. Footnotes. (343) Trinity is the emanation from the transcendent reality called Brahman. The Trinitarian pattern of the cosmos is a single whole. At its base, the three Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra exist in one and one in three, and they are comprehended within that one being who is supreme, secret, and the soul of all things. 344. Ardhana Ishvara is the half male and half female form of Shiva. This form, most popular in ancient sculpture, symbolizes the union and concord of the spirit and its energy. Here in today's reading of the Shiva Puran. Om Kapura Karum Karna. Om Hum Jum Sam Buru Sam Trambakam Mejame Sukana Vishti Param Om Var. Om Tuyamata Chapitatu, Tuamandusha Chasakatu, Tuma Vidya Dravinang Tuma Sarvam, Mama Deva Deva, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.